Yo, what up? It is I, SolarLoon, independent game developer, creator of Master Plan and Tetra 3D. Hello. How's it going? Hopefully it's going well for everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm streaming a little earlier than usual. It's 3:22 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon. Bird51 says hi. Hello. Welcome to the stream indeed. Let's get some music going. Yeah. So, I've been working on just some stuff, dude. I've been just doing stuff. So Tetra 3D is a 3D PlayStation 1 styled renderer. Up until recently, it has had no ability to dynamically subdivide triangles as they get closer to the camera. However, as of recently, this has been added, or this is what I'm working on. And it's shaping up pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's shaping up pretty well. Let me show, I think I can show how it works a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I think this will work if I go back to the light volume example. Oh, whoops, sorry. I forgot about that. Yeah. So as you can see, the faces get subdivided the further in the closer I get. So you can see it pretty clearly here, where basically as I walk into this area, these triangles get like more defined. This wall changes. Yeah, so it's working somewhat well. It's not bad. Like it is bad, but it's but I mean that's kind of the point. Like it's supposed to kind of be it's not supposed to happen like this close to the camera. It's supposed to happen, these triangles should be like tiny. They should be in the distance. I'm just in the middle of developing and working on it. But this is really cool because what this allows me to do is a few things actually. Like for one, it runs slower than it used to. It renders a little bit slower, but you're cutting down. You're drastically cutting down the number of triangles you actually have to render, right? Because you're only ideally subdividing triangles that are close to the camera. So it's kind of like a shuffling, like, the renderer runs slower, but you have a better ability to have bigger maps because you can subdivide triangles that are close to the camera. So that's really cool. In addition, by doing things this way, lighting also is a lot better because you're not lighting so many triangles, right? Lighting should be better rather, because you're not lighting so many triangles. Instead of lighting, 6,000 triangles, I'm only lighting 2,000, right? Because I'm only lighting, or instead of lighting, 10,000, I'm only lighting 2,000, whatever it would have been. Because and I don't think it was that much, but basically my mesh is only ideally going to be complicated for the near field, the meshes that are close to the camera. This also influences collision detection because previously, whatever mesh I was using for triangle, whatever mesh I was using that had a triangle mesh collision object, bounds object, naturally it used the same mesh. So that means that it was way more complicated than it needed to be, right? Because I was subdividing meshes in Blender so that they were way more high fidelity than they needed to be, so that the textures didn't stretch as much as they could, and so physics was slower, or should have been slower, should have been drastically slower. In addition, raycast also would have been slower because you're iterating through more triangles, right? In addition, exporting data from Blender is slower because I'm exporting the subdivided version of the mesh. And in addition, loading the level is slower because I'm loading the subdivided version of the mesh. So like all of these things go away essentially if I can pretty, solidly subdivide faces. This is surprisingly actually not bad. This is pretty good. Again, at distance, I think it would look pretty good. And I think I have half a mind to just like go with this and just say basically like, oh, well, you just have to set like lines in terms of distances and the number or the number of subdivisions for the map and just kind of go with that. But I also kind of want to have a more efficient triangle subdividing technology than this. This is a very simple approach, which I'll show here. So this is kind of how it currently works. And you can see this is essentially how it currently works. But I'll just kind of demonstrate it. So this is the triangle. Let's say, and just to kind of go back a little bit, the reason why I had to make some like major changes to the renderer is because previously I was rendering things, I would kind of say the right way, where basically triangles can share vertices. And so you're essentially looping through triangles and sending all of the vertices that need to be sent to the GPU, and then you're drawing triangles using like reusing vertices and indices and stuff. I had to kind of rework the renderer so that it basically drew each triangle individually, because each triangle could theoretically subdivide spontaneously. So I had to kind of like change that up. Yeah. So okay, so this is a triangle. Let's say this is a triangle. The current way that this works is we basically just do that. So what this does is it adds a vertex at the midpoint of each edge and then makes one triangle into 4. So you have basically the original vertex A, it goes to the midpoint and then goes to the third midpoint. You have the midpoint to B and then to the second midpoint. You have the second midpoint to C and then the third midpoint, and then you have the third midpoint to the first midpoint to the second midpoint. So that is a normal triangle. That is a normal subdivision of a triangle, which works well. It works well. But the problem that I kind of have is if you have a triangle that's really wide, like let's say you have a wall like this, right? Let's say you have a wall like this, and so it's of course composed of two triangles, but you have a really wide wall. What ends up happening when you subdivide this a couple times is you get this, which isn't very good because it's very inefficient. You're wasting a lot of triangles essentially. Like this is fine, this is not. These kind of like extra midpoints, you kind of want to avoid that. So oh wait. Hold on. Maybe the way I was gonna even approach what I was gonna do today is off. But what I was going to do is essentially, if you have a wall like this and you subdivide, you get these kind of like wasted loops. You kind of want it. You would rather have it be something like this a little bit. Actually, that doesn't even look that good. But let's, yeah, convert it to triangles. And then do one more time and convert it to triangles. That doesn't look good either, but at least it's a little better. But yeah, maybe the way to do this is, there's another way to do this that I'm not thinking about. Because I mean, really what I want it to look like is something more like this. Like if we have a really wide wall, ideally I want to subdivide it kind of like this first. Like that is kind of more so what we would like. And then if we want to subdivide it from there, now we have nice squares. That's the ideal. So since we are already working with triangles, we can't do loop, you know, we're not doing super like complicated loop cuts and stuff like that. But I'm wondering if maybe we can, instead of adding just a triangle at the midpoint here and here and here, maybe we can add multiple, I'm sorry, vertices, vertex at the midpoint here, here, and here. Maybe we can add multiple vertices. But the problem with that is like programmatically doing that is a little tough. Maybe I should leave it the way it is. It's such an easy solution to subdivide like this, and it works good enough. It's just not really what I want. I want a cleaner subdivision setup, but I mean, it's not bad. It's just not really what I want. Yeah. Something else that I don't like is that there's not a lot of granularity to it because you're subdividing an entire face. But I guess that's to be expected. I mean, like, how else would you like it to behave? You know what? Maybe it's fine. Whoops. Maybe it's fine because it works and I kind of like how predictable it is. Anything that I do to try to fix it, it's not going to be the fix that I want because I want basically quads. I want to like subdivide the quads, like do loop cuts and stuff before I even subdivide the triangles. Like I wish it was easier Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep reading about that. I'm close. I'm just thinking. Maybe what I want to do. Yeah, maybe what I want to do is subdivide more smoothly. I'm thinking like we're doing entire triangles and we're subdividing them the entire thing the same way. Like what if I subdivided and then the triangles that were left could then be subdivided to the degree that they need to be subdivided. Maybe that would be better. Because then you have more fidelity kind of up close. That might be a little bit of a better approach. While still maintaining essentially the same system. It's the same fundamental, concept and approach. It's just a little easier. Okay, let's see what we can do about that. So this subdivides, okay, and then depending on depth. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Okay. Let's see. Let's try that. Hmm. Okay, this is a little bit more of what I was kind of thinking of. Yeah, this is, I think, more so what I was thinking of. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, hold on, hold on. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. Okay, okay. I think I'm on the right track. I think what I want to do, because I want, let me see if I can give you an example, give you a visual. Let me just. Wait, what? Where did that come from? Where did this? That's weird. Hold on. Give me a second. That I just. That's strange. It's weird, dude. This entire time I've been playing music back on my computer, and I've also just had a music track in OBS playing, and I don't know why. Like did I press something? That's weird because I don't remember ever even using this. I don't know what happened there. Okay, that's weird. That's just really weird. I don't know. That's odd. That's weird. Really weird. Okay. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, yeah, right. That's what I was gonna do. Let me break out a a sprite real quick. Okay. So what I'm thinking is we have a triangle, right? We have a triangle like this. And I think within when you're within a certain range of the camera, which will be this shape, right? When we're within a certain range, we want this, and we'll picture this range as something like this, like around the camera. So when you're within a certain range, this gets subdivided. So this becomes something like this, right? Um, but if we are within range, then this gets subdivided again. And this gets subdivided again. But these two triangles don't, because they're not in range. So like the first triangle. Oh, hold on. Whoops. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, like ideally we want to only subdivide the triangles that are in range. Because like when this triangle starts, the center is in range, right? Really, this triangle shouldn't have been subdivided. Yeah, because it's out of range. Oh, I didn't know you could undo stuff in OBS. That's cool. But yeah, this triangle is within range, so it gets subdivided. This triangle is out of range, so the center is out of range, so it wouldn't get subdivided. So this is, pretty much exactly what we're looking at. Like this triangle gets subdivided, these three triangles don't get subdivided. Because then you could have, really dense triangles nearby, and the other triangles don't get it as much. But I'm not really sure how best to do that, because like the concept is The concept is for each, well, hold on. Okay, so the triangle knows how many, I see. Right. Well, no, this should work as it is, shouldn't it? And we need the camera position. We want to turn on only the ones that are within distance. Okay, so then yeah, let me go back to this example, because this kind of, well, yeah, I guess this won't work as well as I want, because basically the triangles are being subdivided on command. Yeah, the triangles are being subdivided on command. So I want some kind of system I want some kind of system where I can define, Llama says good morning. Hello. I want some kind of system where I can define levels and the triangles get subdivided according to that level. So like I can define like, okay, at range 20, let's just pretend at range 20, subdivide level, let's say range 40, subdivide level 1, range 20, subdivide level 2. Let's just say range 10, subdivide level 3, something like that. I try to look at Tetra 3D GitHub and then look at the starter project. Hasn't really been 3 years. Yeah, man. I've been working on this for years. And it's gotten so good, man. It's gotten better and better. This is a little complicated because I want to have this kind of like design where I can say like, okay, we have, multiple different levels and the triangles get subdivided, differently according to which level you're at, but like part of me says this would be easier if I subdivided all triangles beforehand, and then you're just making them visible or not. But part of me is like, that feels really wasteful. Why would you do that, right? Because it's like, you know, well, I don't even know if I can do that, because I can't probably send that much triangle position data to the GPU. You know what? Let me hold on. Let me get a coat. I'm a little cold. Okay, I return. It made warm. Made strong. Yeah, it's tough because it's like, it's kind of complicated because like a triangle, love your work, man, all those amazing examples. Yo, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. This is tough because essentially a triangle can contain, like, it can be subdivided down to multiple levels. But before that, of course, it's just one triangle. But after that, there's many triangles, and they are all triangles. It's not like they are subdivide, a different class of triangle. So I'm trying to figure out like how best to do this. But maybe I can do it, like go at this as naively as possible. So let me think about this, because that's I was thinking this was like impossible to do, and I thought about it here and there, and then like 2 days ago I was like, what if I just did this like as stupidly as possible, just as straightforwardly as possible, and it's working, and it's working really well. So maybe I'll just do the same thing. What do I want to do? I want to be able to, doing 3D game stuff is still out of my league at present, but one day I hope to use Tetra 3D. Oh yeah, please check it out. It's excuse me, it's pretty easy to use. I think not too bad. I try to like make it easy ish. You still have to know some stuff about like 3D math and stuff, some basic stuff, but not like a whole lot. Chat, brother. Anyway, let me change music. I'm thinking too much. Okay. So what I want to do, let's simplify it. We need to probably subdivide before we render. Yeah, we probably want to subdivide before we render, because when we're looping through here, we're looping through every triangle, including the subdivided triangles. We probably want to I guess I guess what we can do is when we have a triangle, we know ahead of time how deep we want to subdivide the triangle, like this, the levels, right? 1, 2, and 3. So we know, like, okay, I'm going to need 1, 2, and 3 levels of subdivision. So they can exist, like those subdivisions can basically be like they can add themselves to layers depending on depth. And as they get added to the layers, when we go to this stage, we draw them according to the layer that it demands. Like, oh, the distance is greater than 40. So just the base triangle is less than 40 or equal to 40. Then it's the first level of subdivision. 20 is the second level. 10 is the third level. Okay, let's try that. That seems doable. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a couple things. We're going to reset subdivision. And you know what? This makes things a little easier because now we can basically know we're just talking to the triangles themselves. Index count. We could probably just do this like this. Subdivision levels. It's a map of int to something like that. We could do something like that. Let me think. Let's see. And like the thing that's kind of interesting about this is that like this doesn't really need to be that fast, because even if it's slow, as long as it doesn't stutter the game, it'll probably be fine, because like it only needs to actually subdivide the triangles once. Once they're subdivided, all it's doing is just turning them on and off, displaying them or not. It doesn't actually need to subdivide them more than once. This shouldn't be used for like dynamic, things like, rotating or animating objects. This is just for like landscape. So let's see. So we should be able to do this. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is what actually performs the subdivision. We don't need to do this, I think. Okay. Okay. So here's the concept. And let's just say the levels we have are 40 and 1 and 20 and 2. Let's just say this is what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I'm just thinking it out. So when we subdivide, because this handle, okay, so then let's do a couple things. I guess one is we actually want to, okay, yeah, and then we probably let's make a variable that handles whether a triangle is visible or not. So by default, the triangles are visible. Yeah. Okay, let's see, visible. Yeah, okay, that's fine. True. Okay. So then we basically just say if try.visible. If it's not visible, then we just skip. Okay. Down here. Well, I mean, I guess there's no reason to even do that. We could just do this. T.visible equals false. So let's just see where we're standing right now. Okay. So this is what it looks like without subdivision. This is without subdivision, without splitting, just raw, low poly PlayStation 1. Okay. Without any kind of anything to like make it look at all approachable or usable. Okay. All right, so there's no problems. So what we want to do is let's start off with making the triangle invisible. Okay. Triangles are not rendering. Cool. So now we want to basically say, oh, this is where we get the do I need to do that here? I guess I don't need to do that here. I could just say the level. I guess we could define a struct for this. I guess that should be here. Which is the subdivision level and the distance. And then I guess we probably want to know, like, what level should it be displaying? Essentially. Well, then I guess it doesn't really need to know the distance, because we can do that, right? Like, we can determine, oh, it's close enough. Handle subdivision. Well, I guess the whole point is that, or part of the point, whatever. I guess part of the point is that I kind of want it to do everything in the triangle. I don't really want to have to do anything outside of the triangle. So we create the level ahead of time, the specification of how these triangles should be subdivided, and then we pass them into each triangle. And the camera position. Okay. All right, so then we say level. No, the subdivision levels. Yeah, there we go. So this should be probably like that, levels. And then can we do like, I guess we'll do distances and subdivision levels. Is this one? Well, I guess we could do it like this and just make it so that it takes a slice. Although I think it's bad to pass a slice, right? Like, you don't generally want to do that, but I guess it's fine since we're using one and then just, you know, going from there. So distance 40, subdivision level 1. Start with that. Okay, so now levels is a slice of subdivision level. There we go. Okay, still fine, right? Cool. Yeah, this used to take a lot longer. This was like a second, I think. Used to be a second. Let me check that because I can actually test that. I think. Do I? Or I might not be able to do it here. Let me see. Okay, I do. I can. I think. Oh, this is the old light volume. Let me. Because I'm interested. Okay. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. It's so much slower. 1 second to check this scene. The light volume space is the same, but because this is so many more triangles, so many more triangles, it was so much slower. This is 4,000 or 7,000 triangles, you know, roughly. Well, there's guys and stuff, that's true. So it's about 5,000 triangles for this land, this map, roughly. It's about, yeah, maybe 5,200 triangles. Oh, I can just look at the blender. What am I doing? Oh, well, I forgot it. That's with it being subdivided. So with it being subdivided, it took about a second and some change, 1.15 seconds to check the light cells, which is performing raycasts. And it was 5,000 roughly triangles. So in comparison, this is just 396 triangles and it takes 96 milliseconds. So far better, just far better. Loads faster, it will run faster. It's fantastic. Okay. So so what we're going to do is what we want to do here is we want to basically determine if we are going to subdivide this triangle, or if we need to subdivide this triangle. So I guess really we want to subdivide the triangle ahead of time, huh? I don't want to do that because, I mean, I guess we could do that. Let me think. So I pass a level set that basically controls the distance at which a subdivision level takes precedence. If the distance is close enough, then we switch over from this triangle to basically all of the triangles, all the subdivided triangles under this. Okay. I think doing this the way I want to will be too slow. Because what I'm thinking is I want it to be where basically in this kind of an example, like in this kind of an example, the triangles can kind of show like partial triangles like this a little bit, where it like makes way for bigger variance as it gets further away. But that would require essentially looping through every layer and checking to see if any of them, if all of them are able to display, and if so, displaying them, and then if not, not displaying them, which can work. But the issue with that is I would have to subdivide all triangles ahead of time, which I don't really want to do. I kind of want to do it at will as they get close enough, because doing it the other way, it might create lag to like subdivide all triangles at the beginning of the scene. Not a huge amount, maybe a second. But like, I don't want to have to do that. I think it would be cool to. Well, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just pre-process all the triangles, subdivide them all. Maybe I should do that because doing that would make it more consistent. But do we need all of the triangles to be subdivided at any given time? Man, this is a tough one. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to start off with just subdividing all all necessary triangles at once. For that. Okay, and then That's greater than 2 level. Okay. Okay. Can't wait for Tetra 4D, says Monochroma. Brother. And part of me is like, wait a second. I could do some stuff with time. But no, that's okay. This is already a lot. Let's see. Okay. Okay. No crash is good. Let's see. Did it actually do it? Okay, it's doing that. Let's see. Okay. All right. So if this is working, then basically what we do now is we say if t dot. Well, I guess we have to loop through the levels to determine the appropriate subdivision level. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think this might be working. So, T dot subdivision levels, closest level. So if closest level is equal to 0, then T dot visible equals 0. Let's start off with that. Okay. Been forever since I last joined. Finally showed up. Yo, Novice Arts, what's up? How's it going? Working on camera for a new game? Kinda, yeah. Kinda. Right now I'm making dynamic subdividing. Is this like this? Okay, yeah, that's right. This is how it is. Okay. Yeah, making dynamic subdividing, which is interesting. Okay, let's see. That's one. All right, there's some triangles. It's true. We're looping through not the subdivided triangles. Okay. I feel like this should be working, but it's not. For subdivision levels. Let me change the music. Why is the subdivided triangle not rendering? Oh, maybe it's not. Facing normals? No, I don't think it's normals. I think it might be something stupid that I'm doing. Oh, yeah. No, wait, subdivision. Depth. I think it's something I'm not doing right. Let me think. Form subdivision 1. Perform subdivision level 1. That is correct. As a triangle, it's being subdivided, so now it's getting turned into multiple triangles. Doesn't exist. Oh. No. Two. Okay, no, that's right. Okay, okay. Well, that's part of it. That's gonna be part of a problem then. If length T subdivision levels. Let's see. Okay, level 1. Use this. Oh, yeah, that's why. I think that's why. No, let's see. Base. Oh. Yeah. Okay, that's what's going on. I forgot. I have to add it to the mesh part. That's where I have this. Yeah. Winding order. Yeah, no. It was my own stupidity. I'm not gonna do it like this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it is working. I think. Let's see. I need that. I don't think it's working quite like I envision it, or as it should, rather. Let's see, handle subdivision. Closest level. Try to visible return. Oh, yeah. I think it's working. Okay. All right, I think it's working. So here's the test. We should be able to do something like this. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it could work, but this is wrong. Okay, so I think there's a couple possibilities. Let me think. Okay, so I think this right here is what we're interested in. I need to make it so that basically I need to make it so that, I mean, yeah, I don't really need this to be a map, do I? Especially if I'm not even using the key portion of it. It's fine, I guess. Let's see. If the distance is less than distance times distance, that's correct. Okay. Let's try that. I think it's working. All right, so here's the test. So this bridge, no, I think it's not close enough. Yeah. All right. I wish this was a little easier to see. Let's make this easier to see so I can kind of... Okay. So as I approach the end, yeah. That's like exactly correct. So as I go to the end, these triangles, yeah, like, yeah. Okay, so like this triangle gets subdivided, and then as I get closer, it gets subdivided again. Very cool. Okay, I think it's working. So now let's go back to the way this was. Yeah, you can see it transforming. You can really see it on the bridge as it gains vertices, because it's like just a cube normally. And then when you get close enough, it turns, it changes. Okay, not bad at all, I think. Let me just pull up a system monitor real quick. This is light volume. Okay, not crazy RAM. 419 megabytes, not crazy. Interesting. Very interesting. You can see the light, the darkness here advance across the wall. You can see the darkness here. It gets more opaque because there's extra vertices to, like, there's not enough vertices here. Well, it's hard to see like that. But yeah, there's this on this seam. Like, there's probably a dark column. This is also hard to see. But yeah, there's a dark column like in this center area, but there's no vertices to pick up the darkness. So when you get close enough and it transforms, it adds vertices. It gets darker. That's so cool. Like that's a graphical, you know, anomaly, but that like proves it's working. That proves it's working. Okay. The only thing I'm kind of wary of is I'm generating a lot of transformed versions of these triangles. So let's measure it. Let's measure how much time it takes. So But I guess it's not doing it all the time. It's only doing it for triangles that... No, it is doing it all the time. Well, yeah, this is less than ideal, but let's see how this works. Let's see how this goes with my actual project. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to do that. I can't do that. Oh, I'm blurring it heavily. I was like, what? Why does it look so different? Hold on. Yeah, we can just... No, there's still something weird going on here. Why is it dark here? Yeah, I feel like part of it isn't picking up the light or something. Let me try something real quick. I changed stuff and... Oh, wait, maybe this is part of it. Nah, there's still, like, the ground is unlit or something. What if I don't? Oh. Okay, well, that's probably part of it, actually. Oh, yeah, I'm unparenting. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that shouldn't have been a problem, but we'll fix this. Hold on. Oh. Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. Huh. Oh, is it because... That's interesting. It has an entirely different feel. Excuse me. This is interesting. Let's see if it's... Can't tell if it's doing anything or not. Oh, that's right. That's no longer doing what it used to do. This still looks pretty dang good. there's still like graphical glitches and it's not like nearly, you know, as smooth as it should be and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm still pretty happy with the overall vibe. Like this is putting out a vibe. Okay, I can kind of see it on this wall. Oh, I guess I might not even excuse me. I might not even see it depending on what I'm doing here. Oh, how did I fall to the ground? This is janky. This is super janky, dude, but it's the potential though. Welcome to the PS1 where every glitch is a vibe. That's completely correct. Dude, it loads so much faster. It's like near instantaneous. Click, click, load. Yeah, that's so much better. So all right, so the potential is here. The potential is here. Ooh, you can see it right there. You can see it right there. Ooh, look at that. Literally gains. Teleports in front of you. Gains vertices. That's interesting. This has a completely different vibe than it used to. Like it looks different. The lighting and everything, it just looks different. I'm not sure why there's a light portion here. That's also interesting. Okay, so at least I know it's working. So if it's working, I'm getting pretty good frame time, not bad. 1.5. Like it, you know, ideally it would be smaller, but this is kind of a full map. Like it's, you know, it's got some stuff going on. Got some water, we got some, and there, I probably actually shouldn't have water like this because this is cool, but this is not what the PS1, you know, they wouldn't have been able to have the processing time to like get this to be like this. Also, I just kind of like phased through a little bit there for some reason. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, that's good actually because I was playing something else I made. That small adventure game test. I was playing that on my Retroid Pocket Flip 2, my like Android gaming thing, and raycasts were like kind of weird, and it kind of reminds me of this. It feels like if I solve this, I'll probably solve what was wrong with the Android with raycasting there. So this is pretty dang good. Like this somehow feels better than it used to. Like the lighting is, it's weird. It feels like the lighting is more consistent. It feels like the lighting is more consistent. Also, I don't think this is what the triangles look like. I think this is incorrect, but the lighting feels more consistent or something. Like this is weird. This kind of like bleeding is odd, but the lighting feels very kind of naturalistic in this area. I'm not sure why it feels so good in this one little zone. It feels very very deliberate. Very kind of natural. All right, well, this is fantastic. I'm very happy with this. I just need to keep working on it to like get it to be solid. Yeah, you can really see it there. So I'll probably kick it out a little bit. so that it's further out from the camera, but and maybe add more subdivision. Let's try that. I'm gonna add more subdivision in the near plane and see if it like cripples it or not. If it like really, you know, crumples, or if we'll be fine if we like have a tin. Hmm. 4 milliseconds, 3 milliseconds. Although it did work, the ground is far better than it used to be. Okay. So this does work. At the very least, it does work. So the ideal is basically just to have better edge loops to begin with, so it doesn't have to subdivide so much. But this isn't too bad. This is interesting. It feels, I don't even know, dude. It feels like this weird mishmash of like a PS1 game and a modern like Unity game. Like the lighting is so soft and so smooth that it feels wrong. It feels like it feels too good. I don't know. Very interesting vibe. And like there's like this lower area is kind of darker. I don't know, like there's different little parts that feel like modern lighting because of how smooth it is. Yeah, okay. So this is pretty good. Yes, it's glitchy. Yes, it's not perfect, but I mean, like, it is very good, I think, for the current state. Like, all I need to do is just keep tweaking it and add some edge loops in here so it's not so, so janky, I guess? The PS 1.5? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly correct. That's the vibe. Okay. I'm happy with this. So yeah, next time I'm gonna actually probably have this up and running to a more appreciable degree, ideally. I'll probably start streaming earlier, maybe around 11 a.m. on Friday, and hopefully I'll have this working. Like the main things at this point I think I want to do is I want to expose this subdivision level system to the GUI of Blender. I want to... Yeah, that's kind of the main thing, is just that. It might be better to make it so that the triangles subdivide depending on the distance to the closest vertex of the triangle rather than the center. That might make it so that it's less noticeable because it's happening maybe a little sooner, a little closer to the camera. Like this wall changing is really smooth, but this wall over here is not nearly as smooth. So I think maybe like, yeah, checking the closest vertex might be a good idea. Something I wanted to kind of try with this little example zone or first zone of this little game is, like, I started off kind of I guess you could say literal, and then I'm like, how would Mario do it? And I'm thinking of like Rainbow Ride or something from Mario 64. And so I'm like, oh, I could just like, you know, give you some more abstract areas to platform around, to jump around and look around. And so that's kind of what I'm trying. So overall, pretty happy with this. Looks solid, feels solid. Well, it doesn't look solid yet, but it's gonna get there. The water effect, I like it, but I also am like, they would not have been able to do this on the PS1. PS 1.5, that's basically correct. Like, this is kind of like this is what the Nintendo 64, the Sony Super Nintendo 64 or whatever it was gonna be. This is the vibe. Anyway, this is really good. I'm happy with this. Just gotta polish it up a little bit more. And some of the things are not things that, like the water like phasing out here when I'm jumping. That's just like kind of a product of the triangles not being split. Oh, that's true, yeah. Oh, actually, you can kind of see it. I think you can kind of see it. Like, here, the water has a certain like level of wave fidelity, but once I walk over here, you can kind of see it kind of falls apart until I get here, at which point it kind of is like back to normal. That's because it's looking at the center point of the triangle, and the center point is like, this is a long strip, so this center point is here. So, whoops. So like as I walk down, it kind of like reconstitutes itself. Like, it's not bad here, it's bad here, and then it kind of comes back here to normal, and then it's bad here again. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, using the closest, I keep falling, I keep going to that point and falling in. But this is good because I'm not sure why the raycast is failing, so it's good for me to test and see. The sheep tactic I use with water is to paint the mesh below with water texture below as well. Even if water pops in and out, you don't usually visually notice. Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of a cool cheat. Yeah, I think that I might just replace it with just like a running water texture animation, just, you know, a flat plane rather than have this movement. Like, it's cool, but I don't know, it might be just, it doesn't look as nice as I think I would like it to look. Well, I would also like to be able to, because currently I'm like transforming the vertices, and I think it would look nicer if I could transform the vertices and the normals. So that's kind of something I would like to do, but I'm not currently doing it, and that might be why it's kind of looking kind of rough. Let's see. This is going to be like this until I move these to new draw call meshes. I can do that right now, actually. Not draw call meshes, but draw call. Well, there's a couple things I could do, but we'll just do this. Yeah, I fixed that. So that just moved it to a new, another draw call, so it's not overlapping with the ground. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can see the ground. It's interesting. Like, it's kind of like janky, and then it gets good here. So yeah, I think that has to do with the triangle center stuff. So if I could kind of like pin that down, expose the GUI, expose the subdivision options to the GUI in Blender. Fix that raycast issue in the corner, and keep building out this map. Like, this is running slower than it used to, but I'm pretty sure once I get it good, the render time may just not rise very much from this point because we're only tessellating the triangles that are near to the camera. So we'll see. Very positive about how everything's shaping up so far. Looks pretty good. Very eager to keep working on this and see how much more I can do. Actually, yeah, let me see something real quick. Yeah, okay, however I'm drawing this, it's not drawing I think I'm drawing the bounds of the object. But see, the logic execution is pretty low. Like I think logic execution was like 1 millisecond or something before, because I'm doing raycast and a collision check, and this mesh was so many more triangles than it currently is. So now like splitting the visual mesh from the physical mesh collision and stuff is far better. So that's cool. That's nice. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah. So thank you very much. How is Blender as a level editor? It's not bad. I feel like I kind of need to get used to it. I feel like there's things that I can do to make it more just a better option. Like it's not bad, but it kind of feels kind of clunky, but it also feels like I could definitely do things to make it better. Make it not so clunky, not so awkward. Like hiding stuff, and yeah, hiding stuff could be useful. Oh, that's not even the same thing. Loads so fast, dude. Loads almost instantaneous. I love it. Looks better than ever. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. I think this is the way to go. This is interesting. What's this? What is this? Is this like a triangle or something? Oh, it's just a one big wall. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure why I'm walking through it. Yeah, so how is Blender as a level editor? It's good. I think there's things that it's kind of awkward to. Okay, so there is something going on with the collisions and stuff. All right, I'm glad this is. Yeah, because I never tested things on like big faces because I always would subdivide them. So now I'm able to see like, okay, there's an issue where you can like phase the wall. Okay. All right. Understandable. Understood. Things to work on. Yeah, I think that Blender as a level editor is kind of awkward, kind of weird. Kind of gotta get used to different like controls and new techniques and things. There's things that I do like you can do, for example, like this. Like that's just dope. That's just really, really cool to be able to do something and then just be like, okay, let me repeat it 4 times or something. And it does whatever you did, like this. Well, you have to do it. Yeah, like that's cool. That's cool. So there's things like that that are really cool. Being able to do things like spin, 90 degrees, you know, or something like that. Like that's cool to be able to, as an example, like if I wanted to make this bridge, make this thing like rotate, I could use the spin tool from above and then make it like 90 degrees. So there's cool stuff like that. That's just really cool. Whereas like, okay, you know, it's cool to have Blender as a level editor. That's just very comfortable, very cool to have those kinds of things. That's how I made this corner area where you have this, you know, bend in the path. That's really cool. So it's both kind of awkward and also kind of powerful. You just kind of got to get used to it. Yeah. Nice lighting. All right. So yeah, next time, hopefully I'll have this even better. And if this doesn't work and it's just like, no, triangles, I mean, you know, the dynamic subdivision is just trash. Like, even if that was the case, I think that I could still use it just by subdividing my level more rather than leaving it like bare, you know, just completely plain, more or less. Which I'm probably going to end up doing in some ways here and there. We'll see. But yeah, like there's things I can do to kind of make this a little bit better. But anyway, yeah, refining the dynamic subdivision system, and then maybe doing some level design on stream as well would be cool. And maybe a mechanic, the core mechanic of the game, which is basically the ability to scan enemies and characters and, you know, take on their forms. That's the fundamental concept. So maybe I'll have some other character that you can do that to. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLoon. It's been real. I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time with more game development in Go using a Beat Engine and Tetris 3D. All right, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.